So the next type of conditioning is operant conditioning, but let's first look at the differences between classical and operant conditioning. So for the approach, remember that classical conditioning is when an unconditioned stimulus, such as food, is paired with a neutral stimulus, as Pavlov did with the bell. And then that neutral stimulus eventually becomes the conditioned stimulus, which brings about the conditioned response to salivating to the bell. And then the timing might be different because the stimulus occurs immediately before the response. But with operant conditioning is concerned with reinforcement and punishment, which either strengthens or weakens a learned response or a desired behavior. And so we'll learn about these different reinforcements and punishments in the next slides to come. The main researcher behind operant conditioning was B.F. Skinner. We mentioned him in Chapter 1 also. And Skinner believed that behavior is motivated by the consequences that we receive for a behavior. And they're either in the form of reinforcements or punishments. And Skinner tested operant conditioning with his Skinner box, in which he placed a rat in a box that looked like this. And the rat had to press a lever in order to obtain food. And then using speakers and different colored lights, Skinner would reinforce the rat to press the lever to get food and be reinforced for that behavior. Or if a different light or sound was produced and that rat pressed the lever, it might become shocked from the wire bottom in order to be punished and learn to only press the lever for a specific sound or a specific light. And so Skinner was really interested in how reinforcement and punishment affected our behavior. And operant conditioning includes types of reinforcement and punishments, as you see here. So there's positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement, and then positive punishment and negative punishment. And we're going to go over these four, but here's just the generalities of what each of the four are about. And so positive reinforcement occurs when a desirable stimulus is added to increase a behavior. And here are some helpful symbols to create, to help understand and explain this. So a desirable stimulus, so something that makes us happy, is added, so the symbol is a plus sign, to increase a behavior. Some examples of positive reinforcement is giving a child a gold star for completing his homework. The star is the desired stimulus that is being given or added in order to increase the child's behavior of doing his homework. Or a parent can give a child money for doing chores, and so the money is the desired stimulus that is being given or added in order to increase the child's behavior of doing their chores. And the next is negative reinforcement, which occurs when an undesirable stimulus is removed in order to increase a behavior. So let's look at our symbols again. So this time we have an undesirable stimulus, so one that makes us sad. And this undesirable stimulus is removed, so we have a negative sign in order to increase a behavior. So for example, when a seatbelt ringer in a car informs the driver to put on the seatbelt, the driver removes the undesirable stimulus of the annoying ringer in order to increase his behavior to wear a seatbelt. Or when the alarm clock goes off in the morning, we are motivated to remove this undesired stimulus to turn off the ringer in order to increase our behavior to wake up. Now that we've discussed both positive and negative reinforcement, we'll now learn about punishment. So positive punishment occurs when an undesirable stimulus is added to decrease a behavior. And so again, looking at our symbols, we have an undesirable stimulus that makes us sad. That is added, so we have a plus sign, in order to decrease a behavior. For example, when one of Harry Potter's professors, Dolores Umbridge, punishes Harry for speaking out of turn in her class, she is adding an undesirable stimulus to Harry, which is detention with her, in order to decrease his behavior of being bad in her class. Or when a child is bad, a parent would add an undesirable stimulus, such as timeout, in order to decrease a child's bad behavior. And then lastly, there's negative punishment, which occurs when an undesirable stimulus is removed to decrease a behavior. So looking at our symbols, we have a desirable stimulus that makes us happy, but it's removed in order to decrease a behavior. For example, a parent might remove a desirable stimulus, such as toys, in order to decrease a child's behavior. Or a teacher might remove a desirable stimulus, such as a student's phone, in order to decrease her student's bad behavior of using their phone in class.